Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much for coming. I know we just ate some lunch. You're a little tired, you're a little sleepy. In Spain, we would be having a siesta right now, and you wouldn't be here at all. But before we get started, I am afraid I have some bad news for you. It's time for a pop quiz. So I need you guys to wake up a little bit and get engaged, get excited, and answer some questions for me. Are you ready?
Yeah.
That was lame, come on. Are you ready? Thanks, guys. Okay, so this is like a techie kind of a conference, right? So my first question is, do we have any engineers in the room? If you raise your hand, make some noise. Okay, we got a lot of engineers. Okay, are any of you guys like front-end people, back-end people, different end people? Mobile people. I didn't expect that. Listen, they're always on the move, you know. So how about product managers? Any product managers? Okay, a few. Marketing people? Oh, I see you, my marketing people. Sales? Client relations? Oh, we got one. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, is anyone here job hunting? All right, we got a lot. Anyone here hiring? Don't be shy. Come on. Oh, we got someone back there. All right, do you see her? All right, everybody, you got to talk to her afterwards. All right, amazing. And then anyone here who's building their own business or a tech startup or consulting? A lot of you guys, amazing. Okay, is anyone here happily employed? Oh wow, look at that. So many optimists in the room. I'm so excited about this. All right, last question. Any Timberwolves fans? Yeah, is there something about 5? I don't quite understand what's happening, because apparently good things are happening with the Timberwolves. Okay, well thank you guys so much for introducing yourselves to me. So I'll introduce myself to you. My name is Carolyn Holden. And I like to describe myself as a creative technologist. I've done everything from selling a data AI startup to Snowflake in 4 months to scaling a grocery delivery app 10,000% year over year in the first 3 months of the pandemic, and running Twin City Startup Week in 2 months. I haven't done anything in 1 month yet, but I will let you know when that happens. And yes, the rumors are true. I used to be a comedian in New York, but I retired from comedy. I have never told another joke in my life, and you will not laugh at all during this presentation, I am sorry to say. So today I'm going to be giving a talk about why creative people or creative technologists like me are going to be the next tech giants thanks to AI. And because the reality is, when I helped sell a startup at Snowflake, I wasn't the one writing code. I was the one translating what we built into something that people could actually understand, pitch decks, messagings, investor meetings. And when I joined the grocery delivery team at the start of the pandemic, I onboarded in under 2 hours while phones were ringing off the hook. My improv comedy background helped me calm clients through what was one of the worst weeks of our clients' lives. And when I ran Startup Week on 2 months' notice, I only knew one thing, which is that the show must go on, right? And that's how creative technologists work, right? We don't just build tech, we connect it to the world it's meant to serve. So if this talk sounds like it's going to be a snooze fest for you, please get out while you still can. There's still time. But if you're going to stick around, great, amazing. Thank you so much. Let's get into it. So lately, I have been finding myself quoting Charles Dickens a lot. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. See, for the last 2 years, we have had a tremendous amount of mass layoffs, first in tech and corporates, and now from the federal government and nonprofits. And I have had friends laid off from ad agencies, startups, tech giants, journalism orgs, media giants, established corporates, and much, much more. And I'm sure you have seen that too. And the scariest part isn't losing the job. It's not being able to imagine what comes next, right? And how they're going to pay the bills with a potential looming recession on the horizon. And on top of all of that, you may have heard about this crazy new thing. It's a bit niche. It's called generative AI, right? And a lot of people have a lot of feelings about it. So some people are absolutely inspired, and some are sad or angry, and others are somehow blissfully unaware. It still is not on their radar. Woo, that's you, you're blissfully unaware. We found one in the room. Can we give a round of applause for this gentleman in the room? Oh gosh, I love it when people are blissfully unaware. There's still so much optimism there. It's great. That said, even though AI experts are really optimistic about the future of the industry, most of the public in the US is not. So a recent Pew Research study has some pretty bad stats, all right? We have 64% of the general population in the US fears job loss. 43% think AI will harm society, and only 17% think that AI is going to have a positive impact. Meanwhile, the numbers are completely in the reverse for AI experts. They think it's going to make a positive impact. They're less worried about jobs, but they are more worried than the general public on misinformation, which is interesting. But the divide is clear. Our AI insiders are optimistic. The public is terrified, and the artists that I know in my life through my journeys in film and comedy and all these other spaces are really furious. I can't remember if this one. Yeah, that works. All right, I have watched friends in comedy, filmmaking, and graphic design go from curious about AI to deeply distrustful in a very short period of time. Not because they don't get it, but mostly because the loudest messages that they are seeing are telling them that their dreams are effectively over. This, to me, is a massive messaging problem. I have two theories about why the arts community in particular is so concerned. First thing is that the news media pays more attention to AI developments that affect their industries, which also affect creative people. So they're thinking about writing, they're thinking about video, they're thinking about visuals, right? And this helps make it seem like the majority of generative AI development is focused on those industries specifically. I have a lot of people in my life who ask me why AI developers are only trying to become filmmakers and not solve cancer, which, if you know anything about what's going on in the AI space, couldn't be further from the truth. And viral moments like the recent Studio Ghibli AI phenomenon is accelerating this belief among artists. They feel really targeted. And second, social media echo chambers are ironically run by machine learning, AI algorithms, are making the situation worse by primarily showcasing content that generates strong emotions like anger or fear. This has accelerated the anxiety that people are feeling about AI and also prevents these individuals from seeing positive content about AI. And what's interesting is a lot of these people are very well informed. They're just not informed about the positives about AI. They're informed about the negatives. So the primary concerns that I have been hearing about are job loss, which is fairly widespread, as we saw with some of our stats earlier. Climate and energy concerns. A lot of people think it's unethical to use AI due to climate concerns. And also, my artistic friends are incredibly well-versed and familiar with stolen data and copyright law challenges that is going on in the AI space right now. So, and before you tell me, well, those people just don't have a growth mindset. Are you seriously telling me that the majority of the US public who is being bombarded by content explaining every single reason why AI is bad on a daily basis doesn't have a growth mindset? While growth mindset is certainly a factor, I think people in the AI space are severely underestimating that this is a massive messaging issue compounded by social media. And headlines like these from Shopify and Duolingo insisting on no new hires unless AI can't do the job, or these billboards talking about the pros of no longer hiring humans are not helping combat the negative sentiment. But like I said, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, right? Because in the middle of all this AI mess, we are seeing absolutely incredible things happening because of AI. AI has helped accelerate research by decades in a matter of months. We're already seeing this in drug discovery, understanding complex diseases, identifying cancer years earlier, outperforming doctors by over 20%. In complex diagnoses, that was a New York Times one, personalized medicine, better climate change modeling, better autonomous vehicle performance, massive acceleration in robotics. That's happening way faster than people realize. And incredible leaps in brain-computer interfaces. All right, we're even going to be able to communicate with dolphins. Now, what do the dolphins have to tell us? I'm not really sure, but I think they will have a lot of thoughts about Lisa Frank's dolphin designs, right? There's tremendous amount of incredibly good news in the AI world, and we have only just barely scratched the surface. So how do we make sure that we make this the best of times and get out of the worst of times? Right? In order to combat these mass layoffs and potential self-inflicted recession, we need to see a massive wave of entrepreneurship to create jobs, generational wealth, and opportunity. We need people with big ideas who deeply understand the biggest problems in the world we need to solve, who think outside of the box and have top-notch communication skills for interacting with AI tools. And who is best poised to become the entrepreneur of the future? Well, I don't know about you guys, but I believe it's artists and creatives. Does that mean only artists and creatives are going to succeed in this space? No, but I do think that they have the most to gain in this new economy, and that investors and employers in tech need to pay attention. First, what makes creatives different? Well, first, artists are highly trained on how to develop ideas, experiment with their skills, and receive and give criticism. They're highly trained in this. If anyone who's performed in the arts at a high level knows this. On top of that, the majority of artists have a bias towards action. You have to paint to be a painter. You need to audition to be an actor, though apparently they will let anyone be a comedian. So, that said, it's not just artistic training that makes creative individuals exceptional in a tech context. Now is also the easiest time in human history to build businesses, whether it's a small business, your own freelance or consulting firm, or a high-tech startup. You don't need to be technical. You don't need an MBA. You don't even need to be an expert. You need to be willing to learn, to try new things, use new tools, and dream bigger. And who better than creatives and artists who love to challenge the status quo, invent new things, and direct our attention on the biggest problems the world is seeing right now. Most people, not the people in this room, but most people still think that in order to really use AI, you need to be a tech person. They have not realized that anyone can use AI to learn anything they want and accomplish goals and dreams they never knew were possible. The best companies are born in periods of tech and financial disruption. And this is it. This is the best of times and this is the worst of times, right? And we are about to see a brand new breed of what I like to call creative technologists in the tech space. I define creative technologists as people who combine artistic imagination with technical intuition. People who see technology not as code or hardware, but as a medium or experience, just like paint, clay, film, or theater. These aren't just coders with good taste, though we do love all of you coders with good taste. And this also isn't excluding coders either. They're builders with vision, and AI is finally giving them the tools to stop asking for permission and start inventing the future. Think innovators like Steve Jobs, right? Extremely artistically inclined individuals with strong leadership and entrepreneurial abilities. They are adaptable, intelligent, but maybe got into tech or business later in their careers. AI tools will empower them to reach new heights in tech and business, and their exceptional communication skills allow them to better collaborate with AI. The job titles might not exist yet, but the people sure do. Some high-profile examples of who I would describe as creative technologists include Grammy Award-winning artist and producer Imogen Heap, who recently partnered with the ethical AI platform Gen to launch Style Filter. Another would be actress and director Natasha Lyonne, who co-founded Asteria, an AI-centric production company. And even former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick, who launched Lumi Story AI, aiming to democratize storytelling by providing creators with AI tools to generate graphics and text. And if you think about it, this isn't the first time that individuals from outside of the technological community have built in the space, all right? Leonardo da Vinci painted masterpieces and also designed early concepts for flying machines, tanks, robotics, and hydraulics. Benjamin Franklin famously used satire to spark revolution and invented the lightning rod. Ada Lovelace combined poetry with math and invented programming. And like I mentioned before, Steve Jobs built the most valuable company in the world by obsessing over design and the customer experience as if it was a work of art. Every time we've had a major shift like the one we are in right now, the Renaissance, the Enlightenment, the personal computing era, it's the people who fused creativity and technology to, I lost my spot. How embarrassing. Where are we? Who shaped what came next. And now the barriers of entry are even lower than they have ever been in all of human history, meaning that the possibility for creative technologists to succeed is higher than ever. We are on the precipice. We need more entrepreneurs to invent the future right now and create opportunities for the rest of us, right, to survive and thrive during this massive transition period. Do these entrepreneurs need to be fine artists? No. It could even be the engineers who are in this room. It could be the product people in this room, the sales people, the marketing people. You just need to be somebody with a creative mindset who's really willing to take these risks and see the world a little bit differently. But if we need highly creative inventors who are willing to take these risks, wouldn't it make sense to aggressively recruit from and invest in this demographic whose industries are currently being gutted? There are many people out there who maybe haven't had access to coding, who haven't had access to elite institutions, but they do have access to one of these, right? There are millions of kids, maybe even billions, all around the world with a cell phone. All right? Right now we are in the beginning, and a lot of those kids are learning faster than ever. Take that back later. Because they have access to AI and are able to teach themselves. Creatives are poised to win because they are able to think about the big picture and every single tiny detail that is needed to build that picture. And this decade is going to be an absolute game changer. Now, I want to bring Charles Dickens back for a moment, because everybody knows that one line, but I think most don't know what comes after it. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of life. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven, or we were going down the other way. In short, this period was so far like the present period that some of its noisiest authorities insisted on its being received for good or for evil in the superlative degree of comparison only. That was written during the Industrial Revolution. And just like it did then, things seem really scary right now to a lot of people, whether it's political or global factors, rapid technological factors, or social media-driven anxiety. We need to recognize that people are currently primed to be negative and scared. That said, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, right? There's so much possibility and opportunity in the future. The faster that we can reskill as many people as possible and change this negative mindset into one that is more hopeful, the more likely we are to have this AI revolution be a positive one for everyone. So if you're a creative, please lean in, all right? If you're a technologist, partner with creatives. And if you're building the future, please remember that the best inventions often start as art. So if you are in the tech space and encounter people in your life who insist that AI is bad news bears, please take the time to ask them questions and let them ask you questions. If we are going to change the messaging around AI, this starts with all of us, not just one marketing campaign from Sam Altman, right? Because I don't know about you, but I refuse to give up on the exact type of people we need to help us build a more efficient, ethical, and exciting future. Thanks, everyone.